Hello and welcome to Galaxy Primetime News. My name is Nenwang Imasaka. I will begin with the headlines. Bola Tinubu inaugurates the Presidential Economic Coordination Council. Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU Unilag Council stages a protest rally. The presidents of China and Russia urge allies to resist external influence, saying the global centers of power are changing and a multipolar world is on the horizon. Details of this will come to you shortly. Do stay with us. And now to carry the rest of the stories. President Bola Tinubu has inaugurated the Presidential Economic Coordination Council with the aim of stabilizing the economy and grow business environment in an elevated manner. The council is made up of the Presidential Economic Management Team, the National Assembly leadership, the sub-nationals through the Governors Forum, and the top players of the financial and sub-sectors. Correspondent Inabuchi Oki Inabuchi reports.
The committee is expected to assess a total of 2 trillion naira for the assignment, which will include improving the health and welfare of Nigerians, power and energy, as well as agriculture and food security in the country. For the president, the reason for the committee is in line with his renewed hope agenda.
But I believe so much deeply in the organized private sector. The partnership to drive the economy of this country, for reforms and stabilization that is necessary. Give the incentive where we must, and leave the market to control the pricing mechanism and the consumption.
And the administration aims to systematically address the root causes of food insecurity. The strategy integrates economic reforms, targeted agricultural policies, and sustainable practices to establish a resilient food system capable of meeting Nigeria's nutritional needs sustainably. Such a multifaceted approach not only addresses immediate challenges but also lays the groundwork for long-term socio-economic stability and prosperity.
Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister for the Economy, Mr. Wale Edu, told journalists that the package is largely to rejuvenate the critical sectors of the economy and make food production, security and nutrition as the priority areas to concentrate. The council is also expected to maximize government strategies to scale up oil production to 2 million barrels per day for increased revenue and improved social protection for the Nigerian populace.
The sum of that very important exercise is that a 2 trillion naira package involving 350 billion naira funding for health and social welfare, 500 billion naira funding for agriculture and food security, 500 billion for the energy and power sector, and general business support of about 650 billion.
Representatives of the business and financial sectors commended President Tinubu's ongoing effort to revive the economy while assuring Nigerians of better opportunities and turn around business environment that can foster human capital development as soon as possible.
I must really thank His Excellency, Mr. President, for inaugurating this council, and we'll start meeting immediately, and I can assure you, you see a lot of changes coming. I know that everybody is in a hurry, but we have what it takes to turn around this economy. Things are not going to be bad. We are now just we've gone to the bottom, but we're going to rise up and make sure that we make every single Nigerian proud to be a Nigerian.
We need to increase oil production. As the coordinator said, the President's target is 2 million barrels per day. Is it achievable? Yes, but we just need to do what we need to do to get to that level. And also, all of this is all about creating prosperity for our people. The senior people, the old people, the junior people, the struggling people, small, medium-scale enterprises. It's all about giving economic hope to our people. It's all about creating jobs, for our young ones.
Meanwhile, the inauguration of the council has, however, underscored the commitment of the present government's economic model to recognize the private sector as pivotal in the entire drive aimed at stabilizing the national economy. From the presidential villa in Abuja, I am Nabuchi Oke Nabuchi reporting for Galaxy Television News.
The Nigerian Senate is on the verge of investigating transactions in the Mambila hydroelectric power project from 1999 to date. The Red Chamber has established an ad hoc committee to investigate transactions in the Mambila hydroelectric. The resolutions were adopted today after a motion moved by Senator Manu Haruna representing Taraba Central on the urgent need to address the challenges of commencing the Mambila hydroelectric power project. The lawmaker had in his motion highlighted the failure of previous governments to prioritize the national project with its capacity to generate 3,050 megawatts.
So worried that the agreement between a Russian firm and the Republic of Niger to construct the Kandaji hydropower project located about 180 kilometers northwest of the capital Niamey along the Niger River will reduce the volume of water supply to and hamper the capacity of Kainji Dam to generate electricity for Nigeria.
In their contributions, all the senators asserted that the Mambila hydro project is non-existent, describing it as a dubious process.
I stand to give my full support to this very important motion that is meant to change the economic and industrial landscape of Nigeria. This single project, as already said by the mover.
As the chair committee on local content, I would say that I have received quite a few petitions with regards to the ownership or the legal tussles around the Mambila project. So as we are asking on the president to consider this as one of the key projects of his administration.
Now there are no issues again. No money has been paid. Sunrise has the right as a local content to contest and to bid for such projects. Now that the present administration has also taken this as one of its legacy projects, we commend the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to have taken this bold initiative.
These experiences, where people who have nothing other than a briefcase, they go into collusion with elements in the Ministry of Justice. They wrap up an agreement which is meant to favor them, even as they show no competence, no evidence of competence that they can get the job done.
In his remarks, Deputy Senate President Barau Jibrin said a lack of power supply had plunged the country into further hardship. The Red Chamber, however, directed its Committee on Finance, Power, Water Resources and Appropriation to investigate the circumstances surrounding the Mambila project, given 4 weeks to report back to the Senate in plenary for further legislative input.
A very important motion because power is sine qua non for an industrial nation. Any nations that wants to get it right in terms of industrialization, power is sine qua non. You can't do without it.
The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, has lamented the exodus of qualified hands from the country's ivory tower to Japa syndrome. The minister in his keynote address at the inauguration of chairmen and members of governing councils of tertiary institutions in Nigeria also identified insufficient funds, low carrying capacity and unstable academic calendar as some of the challenges confronting the institutions. Correspondent Kuluju completes the report.
After due diligence on the composition of members and chairmen of Governing Council of Tertiary Institutions in Nigeria, The federal government on Thursday inaugurated the members and charged them to perform to the optimal level and see to the development of various tertiary institutions in the country. Professor Mamman, while speaking on some of the challenges confronting tertiary institutions in Nigeria, said the Japa syndrome dealt a great blow to the education sector in Nigeria. He revealed that a larger chunk of competent personnel left the country for greener pasture, thereby created a serious vacuum which government is trying to cope with. Head chairmen and members of the governing council to see the task ahead of them as a daunting one, which requires diligence and teamwork.
The councils are responsible for setting the strategic direction, overseeing transparent and responsible financial management of the sector, and ensuring the overall performance of these institutions to achieve the national goals and expectations of tertiary institutions. Although the institutions have over the years produced graduates with skills and competencies to compete well across the globe, our education sector is grappling with many challenges.
Other speakers at the event, including the Minister of State for Education, Dr. Yusuf Sununu, emphasized the need for the new governing council to work in tandem with the policy framework of the Tinubu-led administration for education sector.
Government is committed to ensuring that every Nigerian child has access to quality education, from the foundational level to tertiary education. This agenda underscores the importance of equity, quality, and relevance in our educational system.
We must therefore think out of the box so that our councils can lead us to create innovative ways of generating funds for our institutions.
The changing roles of governing councils has become so pivotal to shaping the strategic direction of our institutions. And even though I know during the course of this inauguration and the attendant retreat by the three tiers, both universities, polytechnics and colleges of education.
Responding on behalf of the council, a legal luminary and the chairman, Governing Council of the University of Lagos, Chief Wole Olanipegun SAN, urged the federal government to assist the committee for the development of the Ivory Towers.
Please, with all of us, let us reason. Let us reason together. We are now elders, we are fathers, we are grandfathers, we are grandmothers. We attended universities in this country. As at the time we were in the universities, our 3 years will be 3 years certain. Our 4 years will be 4 years certain.
High point of the event was the inauguration of the chairman and members of the committee by the Minister of Education, Professor Tahid Mamman. From Abuja, Kunle Ojo, Galaxy TV.
Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU UNILAC Council staged a protest rally within the school campus expressing their displeasure about the indifferent stance of the Nigeria government about their demands. According to ASU, most of the demands calling on Nigeria to be part of the agreement reached with the government in 2009. Galaxy News correspondent Levi Joseph was there and files in this report.
Marching through the major road of the university campus, ASU members comprises of professors and doctors in the academic community of the University of Lagos were chanting solidarity songs condemning the unholy condition federal government have subjected them to. Among their demands is conclusion of signing of the renegotiated ASU federal government agreement based on the Professor Minnie Briggs Committee's report and funding of revitalization of public universities as partly captured in the 2023 federal government budget.
ASU doesn't want any strike. I repeat, ASU does not want any disruption in the university system. But ASU will not continue to sit down and languish in agony
comrades, in spite of the 7.5 months strike, the refusal to pay our salaries during that period, up till I speak with you, none of the issues raised at that time have been resolved. It is very sad. It is very appalling. It is very inhuman that for 15 years the issues have remained the same, unresolved.
Students also came out in solidarity with the protesting lecturers with one voice that government should effect meaningful changes in the university education system for better results.
The government needs to do the needful. They are meant to implement policies that will bring about better educational system, increase the earnings of our lecturers, provide good educational system.
What members of FASU UNILAG chapter are saying right here is that the non-review of their salary in the last 15 years is unacceptable, and they are calling on members of the public to prevail on government to do something about all their agitations and demands so that the university system will not be disrupted. This is Levi Joseph from Lagos reporting for Galaxy Television News.
Members of the Academic Staff Union of University, Federal University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, have knocked the federal government over its unwillingness to commit and act to the demands of ASU. At a special congress and protest within university premises, these members demand better welfare, improved university system, and payment of outstanding allowances. Correspondent John Felix completes the story.
The day's activity began with a special congress among members of ASU. With the speeches done, members of FUNAP ASU walked around the premises of the university to press on their demands. Speaking to newsmen, Chairman FUNAP ASU, Dr. Oluwagbenga Adeleye, expressed disappointment over federal government's refusal to address the demands, warning that ASU members are being pushed back to the trenches.
We can no longer wait and live in penury. We can no longer keep quiet and behave as if everything is well. Any country that ignores the welfare of its academic staff, eggheads in ivory towers, that country will be hitting or aiming for the rocks.
Speaker after speaker also lamented government's inability to pay end academic allowances, outstanding salaries, among other agreements reached.
We want the public to know that we are not strike mongers. We are not happy going on strike. And that is why we are protesting, for everybody to know that government has not addressed our issue. And we want people to prevail on government, to sit with us, talk with us, let us find a way around all these issues that we have.
We have had negotiation with 3 federal government panels. The first one headed by Babalakin, the second one by Professor Muzari, the last one by BRICS. And at all these negotiations, you see that it's the federal government that will truncate the negotiation. The last one with BRICS, the thing was concluded, but for government to sign, they then refused to sign. Now that's why you discover that, unfortunately for us, for the past 15 years, we have been on the same salary. People may not believe it, but that is the honest truth. We've been on the same salary since 2009. I became a prof in 2008. And before I became a prof, I've already finished the scale. So by the time in 2009, so the same salary I'm earning in 2009 is the same thing I'm earning now. And you can imagine along the way what has been the exchange rate from 2009 till about the 1,005 we're having, so that our salary cannot take us anywhere.
From Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, John Felix reporting for Galaxy Television News.
You're still on to Galaxy Primetime News, and coming up next. The Court of Appeal dismisses the ex-party order stopping Martins and Muhle from parodying himself as Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly. It is with these and more will come to you shortly after this break. Do stay with us. We're glad to have you back. Now for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at GalaxyTV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTVNews. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at GalaxyTV. You can also avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp if you have breaking news around you. Simply share a story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 018-666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live update and comments. The Court of Appeal has dismissed the ex-party order by the Rivers State High Court in Port Harcourt, stopping Martins Muhle from parading himself as the Speaker of Rivers State House of Assembly. The appellate court also dismissed the decision of the State High Court, stopping 24 other members of the Assembly from accessing complex or carrying out any such legislative assignment in the name of Rivers State House of Assembly. Correspondent Kuluju reports that the court, in determining the issue of jurisdiction of a lower court to hear and also grant the ex-party order, held that the Federal High Court is exclusively and mandatorily the only court that can hear such matters and not the State High Court, citing Section 273 of the Constitution. The three-man panel, led by Justice Jim Olukayode Bada, therefore upheld the appeal filed by factional Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, Martins Muhle, and 24 others against the Speaker, Victor Ojo Jumbo, and 2 others. The opposition Federal Lawmakers Coalition G60 has said that the declaration of the seat of the 27 pro-Wike sacked lawmakers remains valid and have not been nullified by any court in Nigeria. Spokesperson of the coalition in the House of Representatives, Honorable Ikenga Imo Uguchinyere, in a briefing in Abuja, clarified that the appeal court did not void the declaration of the seat of 27 pro-Wike sacked lawmakers vacant.
The pro-Wike 27 sacked Rivers lawmakers remains sacked. Their seat remains vacant, as the appeal court today didn't decide on the legality of their decampment and the declaration of their seat vacant. And let me re-emphasize again, appeal court did not void the declaration of the seat of the 27 pro-Wike lawmakers vacant. They didn't void that declaration.
That slide, if we don't want to continue that slide, then we should honor. The least that we can do is to honor the wordings, the letters of our Constitution. If what they had done had been authorized by members of their constituency, it would be very easy to have people
issue about whether or not the proceedings of the Rivers State High Court was proper or not. The issue is whether the court has jurisdiction, and the Federal High Court assumed the jurisdiction. Now, if the Federal High Court assumed jurisdiction, status quo remains. It means that the 27 lawmakers stays where they were. That means they were already removed.
A federal high court in Abuja has declared as invalid the People's Democratic Party's primary election that produced Asiu Ighodalo as a governorship candidate. The primary election conducted on February 22, 2024 was voided on the ground that 378 delegates who were supposed to vote at the primary election were unlawfully excluded by PDP. Correspondent Kuluju reports that Justice Iyange Ekwo invalidated the primary election on Thursday while delivering judgment in a suit instituted by the aggrieved delegate. The suit, which was a MACT instituted by one Honorable Kelvin Mohammed in a representative capacity. Justice Ekwo held that both the provisions of the Electoral Act 2022 and PDP guidelines were grossly violated in the conduct of the primary election at the Samuel Igbomudia Stadium in Benin. Some of the councils spoke on the judgment of the court.
I will start by saying that this is victory for the rule of law. It's a victory for internal democracy. And it is a lesson for political parties, particularly the PDP, to learn that if you violate your constitution, you violate the electoral guidelines you have made, you refuse to listen to the wishes and aspirations of your members, there's a consequence. And that is what has transpired today.
I must say straight away that no council must be allowed to mislead the nation and to mislead the audience. This honorable court did not make any order nullifying the primary and the election of Dr. Asiu Ighodalo as the PDP candidate who won that primary election by 577 votes.
Also, the former Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, declared the judgment as triumph of the rule of law over impunity.
Like I said after the primaries, if you recall, I did insisted that what happened in Samuel Igbomudia Stadium was lacking to a birthday party or a reception for a wedding at Samuel Igbomudia Stadium. It was not a primaries, because you cannot imagine the Ashwebi people coming to say they are doing primaries.
The People's Democratic Party in Edo says the candidature of Asiu Ighodalo as a governorship candidate for the party in September election is intact. This has come in as the Federal High Court in Abuja, presided by Justice Ekwo, nullified the February 22nd primary, which produced Ighodalo. According to a statement by the Edo State PDP chairman, Tony Ezegbemi, made available to newsmen, so the party is aware of some elements who are scared of the soaring popularity of Ighodalo. He stressed that Ighodalo remains the flag bearer of the party in Edo State, and the Federal High Court in Abuja did not in any way affect him. The party chairman called on supporters of the PDP in Edo State to remain calm, as there is no cause for alarm. A day after flood ravaged some areas in Kushope, a local government area of Lagos State, residents narrate their experience and seek for government help. Galaxy's Iribami Salako completes the story.
Thursday's air had a crisp and fresh scent, bearing witness to the thorough cleansing that lasted up to 15 hours on Wednesday. However, residents of Olokumeji, Iyanoworo, Ojileru, Bega could care less for the refreshed atmosphere as they had to deal with the aftermath of the flood.
May we never see such heavy rainfall again. I come from Alakpere to Iburu. It was so heavy, all the canal was filled up. I learned a child died in the flood.
After the rain started 3 a.m. and we wake up in the morning, see that everywhere was flooded, and we discovered that going out was hard for everybody, but people didn't go to work, and even me, myself, I was at home, and it damaged some people's properties, and even their car break down inside the water as well.
Water entered all the houses at Ojileru. Up to this moment, residents are still clearing water from their homes from Bega to my place.
Taxi drivers also lament the gridlock caused by the rain and unwanted baptism their cars took. They called on government to perpetually clear the drainage and punish those who pour refuse in the drainage. The cars that broke down here were up to 50. If these drainages are cleared regularly, perhaps the flooding would not have happened. We shouldn't wait for flood before we clear up drainages.
There is one pit hole there now, very big pit hole. Lagos State should come and look after that place. They need to look after that place like every 6 months, regular. I know that Lagos State government, they are always trying about Lagos State. So the problem is there that they should try their little best again.
I know if you go anywhere to yesterday because flooded is too much for Yanoworo here. All of these robbers collect 5,000, 6,000 for 1 month before you come out for that river, for that rain.
Apart from the apparent damage, one worries about the health consequences of stagnant water and the effect on the environment.
This is the local Meiji where the flood ravaged residents started living here yesterday. They have a lot to say and they are counting their losses. However, they call on the state government to do something about the yearly flooding that takes place at this place and punish people who throw refuse into the drainage system. Ireba Misalako, Galaxy TV News, Lagos.
Civil society organizations and organized labor have expressed worry the democratic system is threatened with the way local government administration was crippled in the country. They reiterated their demand for autonomous, functional and effective local government administration in the country. Correspondent Nabuchi Oke Nabuchi sent in this report. The Nigerian Constitution recognizes local government as a third tier of government in the country under the democratic system. But the state governors have reduced local government administration to almost nothing in most parts of the country. Citizens are worried that the objective of democratic governance cannot be achieved without functional local government system.
The local government system is the bedrock on which the edifice of our democracy rests. With a weak local government or non-functional local government, our democracy is endangered. And we hope that, God forbid, a situation will not lead to the collapse of the democratic system. So giving local government autonomy through a constitutional alteration or amendment will certainly help in getting the local governments strong.
Well, achieving local government autonomy will bring peace and stability, political peace and stability to Nigeria, because Nigeria is a nation that consists of multi-ethnic micro societies.
The president of the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC, Joe Ajero, at the one-day reflection and planning session on local government reforms organized by the Partnership to Engage, Reform and Learn, a UK Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, said workers and citizens would benefit when local government are autonomous and functional.
So if they have autonomy, especially financial autonomy, they should be able, to key in to the law, because minimum wage is a minimum wage law. Violation of it is a violation of law. So local governments will be seen to be obeying the law and acting appropriately, by making sure that they pay an approved minimum wage in the country.
Oh, well, the issue of local government autonomy or functionality, if you like, truly is something that is hampered by the laws and the Constitution, which is why the legislators are out there trying to amend the Constitution to give the autonomy.
During the session, stakeholders engaged in robust discussions, analyzed key issues and strategized to leverage on the ongoing 10th National Assembly Constitution Amendment process to achieve local government autonomy. The Deputy Chief of Staff to the President and Chairman of the Human Capital Development Core Working Group, Senator Ibrahim Hassan Hadija, has stressed the need for combined efforts to create a comprehensive and sustainable framework for human capital development that will benefit generations to come. Senator Hadija gave the indication at a one-day strategy validation stakeholders engagement workshop of Nigeria's Human Capital Development Program organized by the Nigeria's Governor Forum held in Abuja Thursday. He noted that by sharing insight, best practices and innovative ideas, government will identify the most effective pathways to achieving its goals. The DCOS acknowledged that the solutions Nigerians seek lie within their collective wisdom and experience. Hadija said that stakeholders' strategic input will help governments to shape policies that are inclusive, equitable and sustainable, and also aid in driving the systematic change that is needed to take HCD to a level where it becomes an integral part of Nigeria's development architecture.
Workshop is an avenue to deliberate on and validate our strategies. This is the day to acknowledge that the solutions we seek lie within our collective wisdom and experience. By sharing insights, best practices, and innovative ideas.
So our goal is ambitious yet achievable, to develop a comprehensive strategy that not only addresses the unique challenges we face, but also leverages the vast opportunities available for us.
The recent move by Southeast governors and senators to intervene in the case of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra IPOB, has sparked reactions from residents of Imo State. Some residents who spoke to our correspondent expressed mixed feelings over the governors and senators' decision, while some commended them for their effort in restoring peace in the region.
Welcome development. I really appreciate that. I believe all the Igbo nations are happy for the move because it has been quite long. We've been hoping and waiting for this particular move to be done. And finally, it's here. They are discussing about it. The 5 Eastern governors are discussing about it. So I think we really appreciate it.
I think it's long overdue. They should have done this long time ago. This is about 5 years or more. He was kidnapped and locked up. So if they are woken up now to go for it, it's a welcome idea. It's a welcome idea.
Positive development now, just like I said earlier, it's good. Like if they can appeal to the president to release him. He has been in detention for a long time, and that thing has caused a lot of insecurity.
This resident, however, described the move by the Southeast governors as a welcome development and expressed optimism that he will be released soon despite a compensation claim.
You ask me, I can't say it cannot be compensated because he's a human being like us. You can't hold someone for quite long years. You extradite a person not from even from external country, from outside country down to Nigeria without maybe holding him for years, and you are releasing him just for nothing without being compensated. It's not a welcome development.
I wouldn't want to agree to that. He's not asking for any compensation in the first place. He's asking for his freedom. He's asking for the freedom of a nation. I don't think he's asking for too much. So he wants to be free, and he wants his people to be free.
And now we'll move over to the foreign desk for more news. Hello and welcome to the foreign news. The president of China and Russia urged allies to resist external influence, saying the global centers of power are changing and a multipolar world is on the horizon. Russian President Vladimir Putin and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping were in Kazakhstan capital of Astana on Thursday for a gathering of leaders from the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, a regional bloc that Moscow and Beijing see as a counterweight to U.S. hegemony on the world stage. Xi called on the countries to resist external interference, while Putin said new centers of political and economic might are on the rise. In a joint declaration published by the Kremlin, the group noted tectonic shift in global politics and called for the bloc to play an enhanced role in global and regional security. The statement did not refer to Russia's invasion of Ukraine or China's dispute with Taiwan, but said the group had mutual respect for sovereignty, independence and territorial integrity of state. Both Russia and China regularly rail against what they say is the U.S. dominance of global affairs and are seeking to boost their influence and control, particularly in regions close to their borders. Russia has sought to paint itself as a peacemaker in the war it started in Ukraine, calling NATO and Ukraine warmongers and storming out of the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. Russia formally withdrew the country's delegation from the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly on Wednesday after citing discriminatory approaches, double standards and total Russophobia. The last straw, it said, was Romania's refusal to grant the Russian delegation visas to attend the OSCE annual session in Bucharest this week. The diplomatic posture appeared designed to push back against Ukraine's peace conference in Switzerland last month, part of a global diplomatic process in which Ukraine has tried to win countries over its view of how the war should end. Respecting Ukraine's territorial integrity is key to that view and was part of a statement at the end of the conference. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky followed up in the Swiss conference last Friday when he said his government was working on finalizing aspects of a comprehensive peace formula by the end of the year. Ukraine said it should submit a draft resolution on nuclear safety to the United Nations General Assembly in the coming days. Ukraine and its allies have called on Russian troops to withdraw from the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, saying their presence there risks turning it into a military target. Russia seized upon Hungarian Premier Viktor Orban's unannounced visit to Kyiv on Tuesday to portray Zelensky as anything but a seeker of peace. The Ukrainian military says its army has retreated from a neighborhood on the outskirts of Chasiv Yar in the eastern Donetsk region, a strategically important town where Russian forces recently captured the district. The military confirmed on Thursday that it had fallen back from the town Canal district, saying the enemy had entered, destroying defenders' positions and threatening the lives and well-being of soldiers. Russia's Ministry of Defense claimed on Wednesday that its forces had taken control of the Novy district, which lies to the west of the Siversky Donetsk-Donbass Canal that runs through the eastern part of the town. Russian forces have had their sight on Chasiv Yar, a military hub prized for its strategic elevated location for months. The town lies a short distance from West Bakhmut, captured by Russia last year after a bitter 10-month battle. The fall of Chasiv Yar would put cities like Kramatskov and Slovansk in jeopardy, compromise critical Ukrainian supply route, and bring Russia closer to its stated aim of seizing the entire Donetsk region. The hilltop town has been left devastated by increasingly intense Russian strikes, with homes and municipal offices charred. Its population of 12,000 have long fled. In the past week alone, Russia has carried out nearly 1,300 strikes, fired nearly 130 glide bombs, and carried out 44 ground assaults in the area of Chasiv Yar, said the military. And still on foreign news, Lebanon Hezbollah says it launched more than 200 rockets and drones targeting Israeli military positions in response to a strike that killed a senior commander of the armed group. A Hezbollah source confirmed on Thursday Barrage, the second major attack in 2 days, launched in retaliation for the killing of Mohammed Nima Nasir in southern Lebanon a day earlier. Nasir, also known as Haj Abu Nima, was a third high-ranking official killed in almost 9 months of cross-border fighting that erupted after Israel launched its war in Gaza. His death prompted Hezbollah to launch more than 100 rockets into Israel on Wednesday. The attack on Thursday was one of the largest so far along the Lebanon-Israel border, as tensions skyrocketed with the group sending exploding drones at several military bases in northern Israel and the occupied Syrian Golan Heights. The Israeli military said its forces were striking launch posts in southern Lebanon after numerous projectiles and suspicious aerial targets crossed from Lebanon into Israeli territory, most of which were intercepted. It said fire broke out in a number of areas in northern Israel. Following the attacks, Israeli media reported a vehicle with Israeli troops inside was hit by a projectile. There were reportedly 2 direct strikes on 2 buildings, one in Accra and another north of the city. 25 soldiers accused of fleeing fighting against M23 rebel in the Democratic Republic of Congo have been sentenced to death. The Butembo Military Court in North Kivu Province handed the sentences down on Wednesday, deeming them guilty of fleeing the enemy, dissipation of war munitions and violation of orders. The tribunal was set up close to the scene of recent clashes between the Congolese army and M23 fighters, with the aim of discouraging soldiers from fleeing the front line. A total of 31 defendants, including 27 soldiers and 4 of their civilian wives, appeared before the military court during the one-day trial, said Julius Muvweko, one of the defense lawyers. The 4 women were acquitted, while 1 soldier was sentenced to 10 years jail for robbery. The verdict for the last soldier was unclear. In early May, 8 Congolese soldiers, including 5 officers, were sentenced to death in Goma, the provincial capital of North Kivu, for cowardice and fleeing the enemy. Moise Hangi, a human rights activist, noted DR Congo government only recently lifted a moratorium on the death penalty that was in place since 2003 last week. M23, the March 23 movement, which the United Nations claims to be backed by Rwanda, seized several towns on the northern front of the conflict. Rwanda denies any involvement in recent gains include the strategic town of Kanaboyonga, which is seen as a gateway to the major commercial centers of Butembo and Beni. Faced with the combined might of the Rwandan army and M3, Congolese troops have repeatedly retreated without a fight. And finally, on foreign news, a court in Oslo has found an Iranian-born Norwegian man guilty of an attack during Pride celebrations in the Norwegian capital in 2022 and sentenced him to 30 years in prison. 2 people were killed and 9 were seriously wounded in the center of Oslo on June 25, 2022 in the shootings at 3 locations, including the London pub, a hub of the local LGBTQ scene. The Oslo District Court said on Thursday that Zanyar Matapo, 45, fired 10 rounds with a machine gun and 8 shots with a handgun into the crowd. Prosecutors said Matapo, who police said has a history of mental illness, had sworn allegiance to the ISIS group. He stood trial on charges of committing an aggravated act of terrorism and murder. His 30-year sentence was the highest penalty in Norway since terrorism legislation was changed in 2015. And that's all we have on the foreign news. And now we'll move over to entertainment news.
Welcome to Entertainment News. My name is Rose Blossom Mwe. Here are the stories on Entertainment News Desk for today. Renowned Afrobeat sensation Ayodeji Ibrahim Balogun, popularly known as Wizkid, celebrated his mother on her first posthumous birthday today. It will be recalled that Wizkid's mother, Mrs. Jane Dolapo Balogun, passed away on August 18, 2023 in London, after which she was buried in Nigeria. Celebrating her posthumous birthday on the X platform, Wizkid expressed how much he misses his mother. He prayed for everyone who has lost their mother, family members, or anyone close and still dealing with the struggle every day to be comforted by God. The multiple Grammy Award winner singer said nothing will be the same again for him. Award-winning music star Davido's bouncer Segun Ogunjobi, better known as Sheikh Z, has broken his silence on reports of the singer assaulting him. It was reported that a week after the singer's high-profile wedding to his long-life partner, Chioma, Davido had been called out for assaulting one of his bouncers at the ceremony. A video that made rounds online captured the moment Davido furiously slapped his bouncer with his wife Chioma standing by. From the clip, it seemed like the bouncer was trying to stop a child from reaching out to the singer, and this unfortunately earned him a slap from Davido. The dancer was left shocked and speechless by his behavior, and this created a stir online. Calling the singer out, they slammed him for slapping a full-grown man at his wedding, as they questioned if abusing people in broad daylight is now cool. An unbothered Davido addressed the clip, stating that he doesn't care what people say or think. Now speaking out, Sheikh Z made it known that Davido didn't slap him and has never slapped any of his staff. He stated that the music star was only cautioning him to allow the boy to be. He clarified that the little boy appeared from nowhere and he tried to stop him from meeting the singer. Declaring his loyalty to Davido, he added that he knows the singer well. The Nigerian police force confirms the arrest of the controversial prankster Zee Fancy for staging a money ritual prank involving two ladies. This came following a false cry for help by a social media user who alleged that she was booked for an event alongside a friend, only to escape a ritual attempt while a friend remained a hostage. Amid a siege to rescue the lady allegedly held captive, the prankster Zee Fancy admitted to staging the prank to regain his fame after over a year break. When contacted, Force spokesperson Muyiwa Adejobi confirmed his arrest. Confirming his arrest, the police reiterated its commitment to the safety of Nigerian citizens while warning against the implications of certain acts. Meanwhile, in a development on Thursday, a statement by Adejobi via X platform noted that the arrest follows the circulation of accusatory videos on social media in which Zee Fancy was alleged to have committed heinous crimes, including rape. This video caused significant apprehension among social media users. Finally, Nollywood actress and filmmaker Ruth Kadiri has vowed to change the Nigerian cinema pattern with a movie when the right time comes. The versatile actress made this claim on a page where she noted her brain functions in a different pattern. Ruth spoke about how she often asks herself what will become of her brand without the promotional help from anyone. She claimed that she doesn't rely on anyone to help her because she's on a mission to change the pattern in Nigerian cinema. She vowed that many would watch her movies without being forced or compelled to do so, but because it was worth the watch and their trust in her. Ruth Kadiri also noted that she's building a brand that will last a long time and does not need constant begging. The excellent producer bragged that she was not in a hurry because she was building a solid structure. And that'll be all on entertainment news. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Rose Blossom Mwe. Bye for now.
And that's all we have on Galaxy Primetime News. Thank you so much for being a part of the news. My name is Nenwag Imazaka. Goodbye.